I don't think so. Lu Zhou has never felt that Shen Lemeng is difficult to deal with. She can be cold and arrogant. But to him she is not an arrogant flower that is difficult to reach. On the contrary, she is like a pot of daffodils. Noble but actually very pleasant. Making people feel warm thinking of this. Lu Zhou's eyes smiled slightly. Meanwhile, Qin Xiao, after arriving at the Qin family's house, he called the Qin family to come to her house, standing by the window with cold eyes. The face that had always been radiant now looked so melancholy when he presented Hu to him. He saw Qin Xiao's sad figure. His heart trembled slightly. Qin Xiao called me and said that there was something I wanted to say. This made me have you. I don't feel good. And then I feel the appearance of Qin Xiao's family. Xian turned to look at him. Cheng Jiahu's eyes were cold. And he couldn't let the duck that had come to his hand fly away before Qin. Thien Tien talked about how he himself quickly gave the wedding party design album to Miss Thien Idin to organize. How is the engagement party? Here are the designs. I see if there are any models I like. Show your enthusiasm. Special love. He has announced to some friends and relatives they're looking forward to attending our engagement ceremony. The invitation card is also being designed by him. It's just that everything has been carefully prepared. Many people who have known about their story advise Qin to meditate carefully. But Qin Zhen's eyes meditate. Still steadfast. She was clearly not persuaded by Cheng Jiahu's words. Her red lips trembled slightly. And she was about to say something. Then suddenly she heard the melodious sound of the violin sounding sweet from the violin like a stream. The stream flowed gently and dreamily. Listened to the music. Qin Xiao's eyes seemed to be uncontrollably swept away. Leaving on the balcony full of flowers and trees of the villa opposite the beautiful scenery, but all of them attracted her more than. The man pulling his furry violin stood in the shade of the trees. A gentle breeze blowing through his black hair. The violin on his shoulder. Using the violin to gently glide through the strings. The soft music sounded, soothing the whole time of the scene. It made Qin Chen-shi so surprised that he couldn't take his eyes off. Qin Xiao felt his heart beating hard. She didn't expect Lu Zhou to know how to play the violin and also play it so ingeniously. Not because of her violin technique. He was so skilled that the image of him pulling the violin looked so brilliant, like a bright star shining brightly. In Qin Xiaoyang's eyes, the feeling of love for her kept her eyes glued to Lu Zhou. This scene completely entered. Cheng Jiao's eyes were stunned. He didn't expect that at this time. Lu Zhou was again. It was indeed a thorn in Qin Xiaoshen's eyes that Lu Zhou lived opposite was like a person. The fans kept staring at Lu Zhou. Those eyes, even when facing Cheng Jiahu. They had never had a short-sighted meditation. His violin ability is also only average. I have a 6th level piano certificate. Let me play the piano for you. Cheng Jiahu tried to show up in front of Qin Xiao, looking for a presence, hoping to draw her attention away from Lu Zhou. But Qin Xiao predicted that with angry eyes. Don't bother me, I don't listen anymore. Can hear his micro-feathered sound again. And naturally the micro-feathered sound from the opposite side is very weak. Cheng Hu also interrupted. Made it even more difficult for her to hear. Being violently rejected, Cheng Jiawei's self-esteem was hurt, although at the moment he is not too famous. But he is also a star with many fans. How many girls line up to pursue him? But he had never paid attention to anyone. And Qin Xiao looked down on him. And he was still so rude. Qin Xiao was the taste. His fiancé. But in front of him, she remembered another man. Cheng Jiawei felt like she was being put on a betrayed blue hat, and that hat was worn by the one he despised the most. So he couldn't be angry. When Qin Xiao was listening to Lu Zhou's violin, Cheng Jiao's unpleasant voice sounded. I thought he played the violin for me actually. Someone else was the one he was aiming for. Qin Xiao. Trembling, she saw from the hidden corner, behind the foliage, a charming figure came out. That person had obviously just finished bathing the roof. Her hair was still slightly damp on her cheekbones. She wore a white bathrobe tied with a seductive body strap. The small face was almost as white as ivory feces. And there was a hint of blush. Seductive. That was Shen Lemeng. A beautiful woman came. Amazed, even in a simple outfit at this time. Her cold face showed a satisfied smile. What did Lemeng say to Lu Zhou? But Lu Zhou took a towel and gently wiped her wet hair. His face showing. Tenderly chatting and laughing with Shen Lemeng. Shen Lemeng seemed to be very interested in everything that was happening. As it turned out, she looked like a charming Persian cat with beautiful eyes staring at Lu Zhou. This scene was even more stimulating than the confessions of love the two of them were right in front of Qin Zan's sweet affection. Unbelievably sweet, Qin Shaoshen felt her eyes bitter. Tears flowed out, her heart ached as if it was torn apart. She could barely stand anymore and could only prop her hands on the windowsill to balance her weak body. What made her most depressed was that Lu Zhou smiled again and handed Shen Lemeng a box of fruits that had been carefully wrapped when Shen Lemeng took off the Wei Bing rope she took out was the neck fan. The two of them laughed and chatted, not paying attention to the pulse. It looked like a very happy couple. Qin Shaoshen felt in his heart the extreme pain in the end. Giving the antique fan to Shen Lemengying, he had carefully prepared to make her happy. Did he ever think about her feelings? Not only did she suffer, but she also cried. But Qi Chen Xiao clenched her hands tightly on the wall of the window. Her heart was full of sadness and disappointment. Suddenly the curtain was pulled back. Tan Chen was surprised to face the family friend was seriously standing in front of her. He stood in front of Qin Xiaoxiao. Qin Chen Xiao shouted. He pulled. I want to see Qing Jiawei. Immediately grabbed Qin Chen Xiao's shoulder, who was crazy, and scolded loudly. What is worth it? Look, they can show off their feelings. We can also show off that the eyes of the Hu family stared at Qin Xiao. Xiao Lu Zhou didn't deliberately provoke me. Why did he just want me not to have a peaceful life? Making us confused? I'm not at ease. He's satisfied. He's taking revenge on me. I'm sad. Isn't it what he meant? Red lips. Qin Xiaoxiao shook her head slightly. Her heart suddenly became half cold. She didn't expect Lu Zhou to be so ruthless. Made her heart hurt to the extreme. Short-sightedly. Just move away. Can you move in with me? Can you feel? Lu Zhou was inadvertently supporting him, creating an opportunity for him to propose to live together, forcing Qin Xiaoxiao to agree to just. She was pregnant. She would not be able to get rid of him anymore. Seeing that Qin Chen Chen was still hesitant to continue to attack the family. I consider us as fiancés. Sooner or later we will live together. Living together before marriage is also very even more popular if you are at your place. You won't have to suffer from the scene of them bothering you. Qin Chen Chen was still silent. Xu Hu came up with a plan. He pretended to be sad. Lowered his eyes. Did you transplant me? No. Qin Xiaoxiao looked at Cheng Jiahu in surprise. Why did he think so? Cheng Jiao smiled bitterly. Anyway, I'm not an ordinary person. I have heart disease. I don't know when I'm going to be unsure. It is understandable to feel uncomfortable. Hearing the melancholy tone of Cheng Jiahu, Qin Xiaoxiao bit his red lips and bowed. Head down. I don't know what I'm thinking. We will live together after a period of internal struggle. Qin Xiaoxiao finally also agreed. She wanted to forget Lu Zhou. Moreover, she also wanted to make Lu Zhou regret it. Of course she still had a secret. Who knows that it is necessary to do it? Cheng Jiahu is overjoyed and constantly replies with peace of mind. I will definitely treat you well. The corners of his lips twitched slightly with this momentum of development. He believed that he was about to achieve his goal on the balcony of Shen Lemeng Cam. The neck fan lifted his hand without leaving his hand. His eyes were as gentle as the surface of a clear lake. Asking, how do you know I like this thing? Chao smiled. What is related to me? I don't need to find out. Someone told me and then I repeated all the things. What Shen Lemeng once told her. Shen Lemeng's beautiful lips like cherry blossoms smiled slightly. He went out today. Just because of this fan. Lu Zhou nodded. That's right. So now I can get rid of my anger. But Shen Lemengying's eyes lit up. It doesn't matter how much the emotion is. The price. The important thing is that I like to hear Lu Zhou's tone. Shen Lemeng's delicate eyebrows were slightly raised. No need for me to tell you. I also know that this is not cheap. Lu Zhou sincerely replied. It's true that the price is not cheap. But I have also given you many precious gifts. I can't give back the cheap fruit. Chao knew very well that he had Shen Lemeng to help a lot in terms of human and material resources. And his career developed so smoothly, and his novel was successfully published not by coincidence, but thanks to the support from behind Shen Lemeng. She also gave him. There were a lot of gifts. So it was natural for him to repay the ceremony. Shen Lemeng sat on the chair with beautiful long legs crossed. Her whole body exuded elegant beauty. Her slender fingers were placed on her chin. And she smiled slightly. He also knew how to treat people. She opened the clamshell neck fan and put out a sophisticated fan that highlighted her delicate little face, making her looking even more beautiful and brilliant. She smirked slightly, as if he had given her exactly what she liked. And then Lu Zhou smiled and pointed. It's good to need you to like it. Shen Lemeng glanced at him emphatically. But not next time. One is enough. Then you don't have to go and collect more. Hearing Shen Lemeng talk about collecting, Lu Zhou laughed. I appreciated you. If you practice enough, you will have to go bankrupt and lose someone who can bear to spend. It's so wasteful. But the money Lu Chao earns is also sweat and tears. He is not a giant without a huge inheritance. Is huge. So of course you have to consider carefully. This is for Lu Chao to see. Shen Lemeng stretched out her fingertips. Red and pink. Holding a bottle of lavender essential oil. What is this for Lu Chao? Asking to avoid leaving scars also has some effect. Shen Lemeng said in a gentle voice, of course not. I want Lu Zhou because of you. The wound leaves a scar. If these scar products don't work, she can completely take him. How much does it cost to go to laser for scar treatment? Lu Chao asks the price. It doesn't matter, Quan. It was important that he liked Shen Lemeng to catch Lu Zhou's tone just now. The corners of his lips slightly smirked. A smile full of implications. A little teasing that she was rote learning. Say, Lu Chao, your liver is really big. Dare to talk to me like this. Shen Lemeng didn't show any threat. Her voice was still soft. But more than a joke. Why didn't she dare? But she couldn't lead her away. Lu Zhou knew that Shen Lemeng was actually a cold and hot outsider. She was not as cold and scary as she looked. Although they are a contractual relationship, he doesn't want to turn into a flatterer or try to please anyone. Shen Lemeng's slender hands gently touched her hidden red lips. She joked, if you want, I can consider it. Just as Lu Zhou was about to answer Shen Lemeng, a noisy sound echoed from below, and he looked down and saw it first. At the gate of the Qin family's villa, there was a house delivery truck that had just stopped, and the maids were busy loading things into the accompanying car. According to the butler's voice, he shouted a little carefully, these are all the ladies' things. If you damage them, you must compensate for the original price of Lu. Zhou looked down at the scene below contemplatively, and heard Shen Lemeng's gentle voice. It seems that Qin Zen meditation passed through his house. And he can feel the light. Shen Le Dream's curious eyes glanced at his face. And it had nothing to do with us, Lu Zhou naturally replied with a face that was not moved at all. Qin Chen Xiao really moved. It would have no effect on him at this time. He no longer has feelings for Qin Chen Chen. She is gone. The two of them are not entangled with each other. Each has a path. Is the best ending before. He is so stupid. He is forever miserable because of old memories. It hurts once or twice is enough. If he keeps going, being immersed in memories of tormenting himself, it was just weakness that he hated bitterly. Lu Zhou stood up and said, with Shen Lemeng, you have finished making the red bean tea with tangerine peel. It must be cooked. You go down and take a look. I always want to eat it. Shen Lemeng nodded slightly, looking at Lu Zhou's natural and relaxed appearance. Red lips. Shen Lemeng's berries smiled softly as Qin Chen went downstairs. She saw the gorgeous beautiful woman. On the high balcony opposite, the eyes of the two people met. The woman gently waved the neck fan. Her beautiful eyes were exposed. A little advantage. He raised his head and looked at Qin Xiaoxiao. Qin Chen Xiao bit his red lips tightly. And there was no orange in his heart. Her heart felt like she was losing to Shen Lemeng. This feeling was like she was losing the battle and had to withdraw quietly. Retreat. Meditation. Why didn't you get in the car to report to your family? You sat in the car and saw Qin Chen Chen still standing outside immediately. Worried. He was really afraid that Qin Xiaoshen would regret if he didn't agree to live together. Then his plan would be difficult to move forward. When Zhan A came here, Qin Shenxian replied coldly, and then stepped into the car with an annoyed look. Boy, this made Cheng Jiayu breathe a sigh of relief. Fortunately, she didn't regret the sunlight shining through the car window reflected on Qin Xiaoshen's beautiful face full of resilience. This departure was so that she could come back stronger than her. Will never forever ever accept defeat. Next time she will definitely make Shen Lemeng cry. When the news of Qin Xiaoxiao and Cheng families living together reached the ears of Qin's parents, and Qin's father almost fainted of the unfilial son. Hey, Mother. Qin hurriedly helped his husband. Is it okay? Don't you need to breathe some oxygen? His health is not good. If he is too angry, he knows how to do it. Chin's father is angry and smashes his legs to have a daughter like that. If he is healthy, sooner or later he will be killed by him. Chin's mother is helpless and short-sighted. This time he is too stubborn, haven't waited. On her birthday, she hurriedly went to live with Cheng Jiahu if it was over. She hesitated, but also said them. What Chin's father was most worried about if Qin Xiaoxiao was pregnant. Even if they objected, it would not be effective in calling him. He told him to immediately go back to Chin's father's house and ordered Chin's mother to shake his head in disbelief. It's okay, your husband also knows his daughter's character. But she's spoiled by us. Now you order her to tell her about it. He probably won't listen to me. Moreover, he's depressed. If he does something stupid, why don't he think about his temperament? Qin Xiao's father Qin had a headache. So what should I do now? Robbed and then like a mother pig that gave birth to one litter after another. Giving birth to a whole herd of piglets. Mother Qin took a deep breath. Husband now. It's not a joke. You know I'm on the same side as you. So why doesn't he listen to me like that? My parents said. Marry someone. Refuse to marry. Tell them not to laugh at anyone. But they will definitely marry us. How much more than he used to pay more than him? Why is it? I didn't understand it at all. And when I heard Qin's mother's lamentation, Father Qin suddenly flashed an idea. And this way would definitely prevent it. The two of them lived together. When Qin's father told him his plan, Qin's mother's eyes immediately lit up. It's true that the older the ginger, the more. Let's try to use this method to go to Cheng family. Not to take Qin Xiaoxiao to the Cheng family's house, but to lead her to a third house. The floor of the house has a spacious garden. A beautiful flower garden in the middle of the green space. The red brick wall creates the feeling of in a fairy town. Look at how you feel. This is our wedding house. Are you satisfied? He smiled. Asked when he saw Qin Chenxian observing around him. He searched for a lot of places. And finally decided to buy this place because I think it's very suitable for your princess temperament. But Qin Xiaoxiao doesn't show much love for the voice. She also calmly agreed to move just because she wanted to stay away from the troubles in the market. As long as the environment was not bad. It's not too strict. Cheng Jiao feels more reassured. In fact, he deceived Qin Xiaoxiao. This house is not. He bought it, but he hired him. He needed to maintain the image of a rich guy. He couldn't let Qin Xiaoxiao know that he was only a nominal 3 lives giants, who have not really inherited the family's property before gaining the trust of Qin Xiaoxiao. He has to endure hard. Moreover, if they go home and have his parents there, it will not be convenient to develop affection for Qin Chen if. It was not easy to want to play the lover game when Qin Chenxian sat down on the sofa preparing to watch a movie. A black shadow covering her before she could react, an arm that was tightly wrapped around her waist from behind. Warm breath emanating from Zen's neck. Meditation. You fall asleep and go to bed with me, okay? The family wants Qin to meditate. Early pregnancy like this. Marriage will be guaranteed. He can also infiltrate the Qin family corporation and receive a position. And at the same time will be the true grandson of the family. Submit this, helping him to receive most of the inheritance from his grandfather. The Cheng family has a lot of descendants who really have. Tian is the grandfather of Cheng Jiahu. But he has 4 sons and a daughter, in addition to many brothers. To win this clan war is as difficult as going to the sky, but if he gives birth to the true grandson of the family. They submitted in advance that the division of property would definitely not be a problem. Qin Xiaoshen felt a chill running down her spine when she realized Cheng Jiahui's contact. She was used to Lu Zhou's gentleness now when dealing with facing Cheng Jiahui's hidden movements. She felt like a baby rabbit lost in the jungle. Panicked, pushed him away. Qin Xiaoxiao lowered her head. The pale face is breathing too fast. How fast? Is there anything fast anyway? Sooner or later. Everything has to happen sooner. It's better to do it sooner than Cheng Jiao. A little unhappy because he was rejected by Qin Xiaoxiao. But he didn't show any discomfort, but instead pretended to kneel in front of her tenderly, soothed her, and he even held out his hand, stroking the hairs that drooped down on Qin Chen's cheeks. His tone was unusually soft. He just hugged you to sleep. Didn't do it. Don't be afraid. Qin Chen Xiao bit his red lips tightly, shook his head in front of Cheng Jiao, who was sleepy, went upstairs to sleep. I'm not sleepy. I watch movies a little more. Miss Anne just hugs me to sleep. Doesn't do anything. What is the biggest lie of men? In the 21st century, Seeing that she did not have any concessions, Cheng Jiawei felt unwilling. How could he leave a delicious bait right in front of him? He escaped. So Cheng Jiahu decided to use a slow method. He took out some from the refrigerator. Wine opened the bottle cap right in front of Ms. Anne, found that he was not very sleepy. Let's watch a movie. Let's watch a movie. It's all. Naturally, he had to drink wine to make it more interesting. His intention was very clear. It was to drive Chin Chen meditation if she was drunk with him. Whatever I want to do, I can do it. Stop drinking. Chin Xiao agreed. Very quickly saw that the prey had been hooked. Cheng Jiahu laughed silently. It's really stupid. It's easy to be deceived like this. I'm drunk in a while. And then I'll lie down. In his heart, he stopped pouring glass after glass for Chin Xiao. The smile on his lips he couldn't concealing the passage of time every second and every minute. The person who was going to drive someone else's car was Cheng Jiawei, who had now drunk. The level of the mysterious car 5 ivory on the sofa chin was short-sighted. Who at first looked drunk. Now his eyes are extremely awake. Her eyes were only slightly red. But there was no sign of ex-drinking. She stood up and kicked Cheng Jiawei's body. But he was drunk and didn't react at all, thinking I was an idiot who was easy to play in the palm of his hand. I drank a drink and got drunk. But now my death count is no longer measurable. The best hunters often show up under the guise of prey. Cheng Jiahu thought he was a hunter, but did not know that he had long since become a prey of Chin Chen Zhen. The corner of Chin Xiao's mouth smirked with a murderous smile. She looked at the soft car at her feet. Don't blame me. It's all because you deserve to take a phone call. Everything is already prepared. You have. Then the darkness enveloped the two Chin people with a proud appearance like a brilliant red rose permeated. The blood was completely different from the gentle bright jasmine flower before the early morning sunshine through the gap of the curtain reflected into the room. Cheng Jiawei feeling his mind dizzy. He had to try hard to open his eyes. Realizing that he was in the bedroom, he sat up with his hands up, and found that he was naked. And there were still a few marks on his body. Red spot only wrapped in a thin blanket. Turning Cheng Jiawei's body suddenly used himself. Who did he sleep with last night? Why didn't he have the slightest impression of last night? He turned the blanket over to check the facts. On the bed sheet there is a pale pink apricot blossom stain. Cheng Wei is so happy that it has been the first time. Then there will be a next time. If it succeeds just once, everything will be even more certain. But Chin Xiao is not her going. Where is it? When Cheng Jiahu was still wondering, he heard the sound of water flowing from the bathroom. It seemed that she was taking a shower. The family friend was very excited, hurriedly put on his clothes, and was going to celebrate last night with Chin Xiaowen and cuddle a little more when just put on his pants. Suddenly he heard footsteps approaching less than a second after a pair of hands were wrapped around his waist and a face pressed against his back. Cheng Hu couldn't help but smile on his lips. The excitement was evident on your face. Has just finished taking a shower, Cheng Jiahu said softly. It's all because no matter how much he bathed, he couldn't get clean. A gentle voice sounded, making Cheng Jiahu's body suddenly. He was originally full of excitement, but now he was so scared that he almost collapsed. What the hell is this? Who are you? The family immediately pushed the woman away a few steps back. In front of him was a woman wrapped in only one the hair bath con tied high. The charming figure looked extremely innocent. Cheng Jiahu realized that this was Lin Xinyi, an actor in the same crew as you. Only played a supporting role Thursday. What's wrong? Last night we were so intimate and slept. I woke up, but I forgot everything. Why did Lin Xinyi pretend to blame her? Why are you here? Short-sightedly, Cheng Jiao's mind was completely confused. He clearly remembered how he was with Chin Xiao last night. It became Lin Xinyi again. There must be some confusion here. Last night, you called me to tell me to come. You forgot. Why did I just arrived? You hugged and kissed me. My first time was given to you. And you must be responsible. Lin Xinyi blushed and smiled. Embarrassed, Cheng Jiawei shouted. Absolutely impossible. If you don't believe it, check your call logs. He went. Lin Xinyi began to show discomfort. Maybe he was going to deny responsibility when he saw the call log. His mind presented as if he wanted to explode. Drink wine and ruin. Not only did not win Chin Chen meditation, but also slept with Lin Shi. Nhi Sao looked at Lin Xinyi's unyielding appearance. It was obvious that she was not the one who was easy to deal with this. Absurd. Lin's ire here, and Chin is short-sighted. How can she accept this? Now my mind is confused. Throw up. Chin Xiao. Where is she going? Report to who? Worriedly asked when I came. She was no longer here. I don't know where she went. Moreover, he was too enthusiastic. I didn't have time to bother where she was. Maybe she left because. Seeing that he was drunk and sad, he called me here. Lin Xinyi's explanation made Cheng Jiahu even more confused. Midnight puppet Chin Chen Xiao has disappeared. Where can she go? Cheng Jiahu. I feel like there is a blue hat that implies betrayal on my head. Tell me, how much money do you need? Think about trouble. I have caused him to feel extremely depressed. I am the kind of woman who wants money. Why'd I really like you? But Lin. Shi Nhi Tian came closer in a soft tone. I just want to be closer to you. I know if you have a fiancé. Want to affect the relationship between the two. But if you raise me, give me some more acting opportunities. I won't. Afraid of Lin Xinyi's suggestion. It was obvious that he was a greedy person who regretted getting involved with this woman. But the incident had come to this country. He could only follow what Lin Xinyi did. If he hadn't been overturned by her, his plan to marry Chin Chen Xiao would have completely collapsed. So he could only. Softening the pitted voice for Lin Xinyi. Can I agree with you? Lin Xinyi laughed and patted him lightly into Cheng Jiahui's chest. That's right. But at that moment, there was a knock on the door outside, which made Cheng Jiahu jerk. He hurriedly covered Lin Xinyi's mouth to prevent her from making a loud noise. Cheng Jiao tried to ask me the right question. Can you get in? Chin Xiaoxiao's voice sounded from outside the door, making Cheng Jiao completely surprised. The little brother who was changing Cheng Jiayu shouted, trying to postpone. Then he looked at Lin Xinyi, lowered her voice to warn her what to do and what not to do if she dared to let my fiancé know about this. We'll leave her with nothing. Lin Xinyi smiled, grabbed his hand. Rest assured, I am very. It was easy to pamper. But Cheng Jiahu quietly withdrew his hand, and then quickly told Lin Xinyi to hide in the closet to avoid letting Chin meditate. Zen found that he had finished changing clothes, as if nothing had happened, and then opened the door. Chin Chen Xiao stood at the door wearing a white flower dress. Leaning red eyes look extremely pitiful. Why is it so short-sighted? Who bullied me last night? I drank. Drunk. To hear Chin Zen meditate mention this, the prophecy of Rayahu seemed to stop beating. Did she discover something? He was drunk. He didn't remember anything. Cheng Jiahui tried to hide his anxiety. In the voice is right. Seeing you're drunk, I don't want to wake you up. I went home last night. My parents had an asthma attack. My mom told me to take care of her. Now I'm back here to get some clothes. I'm going to stay at my parents' house for a few days. To take care of his father. Listening to Chin Xiao's explanation, Cheng Jiao breathed a sigh of relief. So it means that she is not. I don't know what he and Lin Xinyi have slept together. It's lucky that otherwise his plan has dissipated into a cloud of smoke. I want to ask you if you want to come back with me to visit my father for a while. I heard Chin Chenxian mention it. This mattered. Cheng Jiahu immediately nodded. Of course, he will go. That's what should make him know that Chin's parents are short-sighted. Prejudice against himself now has a good opportunity to show that he must seize it if he can win over Chin Li's parents. The benefit for him will be great. Cheng Jiahu got in the car with Chin Thien to prepare to go to her family's old house. He was worried about being. So he texted Lin Xinyi to tell her to leave quickly. Don't leave any traces. Fortunately, he didn't have time to call maid. Otherwise, Chin Xiaoxiao already knew everything, and everything would be over when he saw Lin Xinyi texting. Replied that he had left Cheng family. He was relieved. He was so attentive to what he watched. Chin Xiaoxiao leaned on the intention of seeing the phone of the Cheng Jiao. The Cheng Jiao immediately put the phone down. In anxious and restless, he immediately smiled and said to Chin Shenxian, "It's just a matter of work. Now it's solved." Okay, don't overdo it. Chin Xiaoxiao smiled slightly, but the beautiful face that was close to the car window appeared again. A cold and gloomy red lips that were almost bitten to the point of bleeding. Lu Zhou sat quietly in the editorial office. The officer sent me a link to see this. Your audiobook is already on the shelves. This is not anyone's voice, but a very respected website. Trong specially invited professional voice actors, including Ambassador Zhang Wanlu Chao, to turn on the Bluetooth headset and listen attentively. It must be said that the dubbing quality of the novel is very good. The voice actors convey extremely rich emotions, can easily distinguish which character is talking. And the end sound is also very well coordinated. Quickly draw the listener into the storyline and listen for a while. Lu Chao sent a message back to the recording editor in the studio. It's also the sound of Donb Soren. But the editor replied in a cheerful voice that the real An Tin can hear. It's true that even though I've never done recording work, I can't help but know how to do the ordinary. Listening to audiobooks like his previous novels are all dubbed by everyone. This time there is a quality voice by the ambassador. The amount has actually increased to a new level to hear that his novel is voiced by the real Lu Zhou. Can't help but. There was a sense of self-fulfillment when Lu Zhou was listening. He realized that there was a shadow reflected on the person he was listening to. Lu Zhou turned his head and saw in front of him was a woman wearing a silk nightgown. Red machete, her hands crossed in front of her chest. Her long hair curled lazily, touching the rosy shoulders she carried. The seductive fragrance of rose essential oil. The eyes are as charming as a glass of strong wine that makes ex-heart of the brother take off your hand. And explained that he was listening to his novel voiced by Shen Lemeng's red lips slightly raised. Why didn't you update the new chapter today? It turned out that I was busy listening to this. Lu Zhou was surprised. I also read the story. Shen Lemengying's beautiful clear eyes flashed a light. Reading your story is better than your story. Others. At least I don't have to worry about being stopped in the middle. I can urge you to update at any time. Stepped over and sat down on the chair next to Lu Zhou. Her long white slender legs crossed, radiating an enchanting charm. And you can even ask me to reveal the content. Lu Chao is curious to ask me to come here to urge you to update. You are empty chin. Squinting. What's more, your novel is your bedtime reading book. But Lu Zhou didn't expect Shen Lemeng to pay attention to his novel so much. The feeling of being favored made him a little confused actually. He had a manuscript that was just. Today hearing this, Shen Lemeng emphasized, it turns out that he is also hiding the manuscript of the archives. Her eyes are like. Alluding to deliberately causing Lu Zhou to produce the manuscript of the archive as his secret weapon to save in case. Urgently, Lu Chao explained that your fans have any privileges. Shen Lemeng smiled and showed me the manuscript. That was not enough to reveal a little content. It's not enough. What do you want? Lu Zhou asked curiously. I'll tell you in a while. Now there was more important work to be done. Under Lu Zhou's astonished gaze, Shen Lemeng picked up a pair of headphones. He just took it off and put it on her ear, calmly listening to the corner of his mouth smirk, his eyes like enamel radiating seduction. I want to listen to this. Wait a minute, let me get you another pair of headphones. 9D 360-degree surround sound. Good quality without harm. For more ears, Lu Chao looked at her headphones that showed signs of old din to replace her with a new one. Standing up, his wrist was held tightly by Shen Lemeng. Lu Zhou could feel her soft white fingers as warm as. The small fire is burning. You can hear it. It's okay. I'm not too fussy, Shen Lemeng said. Gently both of them fell into silence. Lu Zhou and Shen Li's eyes met in the middle of their eyes. Her bright as bee's sky. Her red and pink lips didn't apply lipstick but were still shiny and attracted her to focus on listening. The face exuded a unique noble look. The long eyelashes soared slightly. And the two of them were immersed in the same world. Doing the same thing that made time seem to stop passing. Lu Zhou felt a little embarrassed. I didn't know if it was because of the eyes of Shen Lemeng or because of the content of the novel when voiced by the listener's voice. It is embarrassing. Lu Zhou felt like he was sitting in a huge steaming cage. Obviously the air conditioner was on. But why did he still see? It's hot, and the room is a little stuffy. Lu Chao picked up the remote control and pressed the heat down. As a result, the cold from the air conditioner made Shen Lemeng shrink back. Following Yi Ya to notice that Shen Lemeng was cold. I'm in a hurry to apologize. I'm sorry, I'm cold. Shen Lemeng is pregnant. There is also a child in the womb. The first months of pregnancy are a very sensitive time. I can't just take care of myself. Ignoring her feelings, Shen Lemeng nodded slightly, gently pulled the thin blanket up, wrapped it around her body to keep warm when searching. Chao raised the temperature in his ears, and suddenly there was a special sound that was stimulating to the eardrums. I feel that my body temperature is soaring too much. This is not the bed scene in my novel. Why did he spend many long nights writing and sending readers a little welfare? But he didn't expect this bullet to come. Return to hit him after many years actually. He wrote not too heavily. Just suggesting a vague context without specifying only. There are professional drivers who understand everything. But the voice actor is too professional and adds a few breaths. Made the sound too realistic. Lu Zhou felt that his ears were about to be pregnant. And he remembered that this scene must be. It's over. Why isn't it over? This situation is even more embarrassing than sitting and watching a sensitive video with Lu Zhou's parents. Glancing at Shen Lemeng. Her face was slightly flushed. She still kept a cold look and cried out as usual. I read in his novel, and then her gaze met Lu Zhou's with a smile full of implication. It seems that she is saying that she knows very well. It's clear that every detail in the story doesn't lack anything. Chao smiled wryly. Actually, he knows that this passage is not good. Not good. Lu Zhou. Surprised and asked too softly, Shen Lemeng said casually. This made Lu Zhou surprised was still light. If it is more specific, the novel will not pass the censorship indeed. Women are 100 times more than men in terms of. This science has proven that when women show sophistication, men have nothing left to say. Shen Lemeng's red lips are soft. Smirk. I'm just saying as a reader to make reasonable comments. If you don't believe it, you can ask readers for their opinions. Otherwise, they will think the same as you. Lu Chao nodded in agreement. That's right. Readers at the time. I want you to speed up the progress of squeezing your strength until there is nothing left to play and no more updates soon. If there is a manuscript, don't be afraid to watch. Shen Lemeng gently speak in her voice like a nightingale in the morning. Carrying flexibility and elegance, her eyes curved up slightly, then took off the handpiece and put it into Lu Chao's hand. The feeling, soft and warm, touching Lu Zhou's hand was only fleeting for a moment, but it left him with a feeling of unease. Vaguely he watched her walk out. Thinking about the interaction between the two just now, the corners of his lips involuntarily curled up. He didn't expect Shen Lemeng to be more than just his fan, but also so thoughtful when he sent the manuscript to keep the letter to her. She didn't expect her to send it back after reading the original. Lu Chao. I understand why, but when he saw the red marks, he realized that Shen Lemeng had corrected the wrong and error sentences. She also sent a message with a piece of basket cake in the end. Chapter number. Lu Chao couldn't help but laugh. Just a piece of cake and was going to bribe him to add more chapters. Shen Lemeng received too few answers from Lu Chao. She was just about to message back, but noticed on Lu Zhou's novel page has displayed the new update. Lu Zhou, who is famous for only updating the right year. There is no shortage of chapters every day. Today has added a chapter of Shen Lemeng's smile that looks extremely perfect. Those deep eyes like a black lake seem to emit a warm light. Qin Shaoshen led Cheng Jia to his old house. Qin Shaoxiao's father's family was lying on the bed covered with a thin blanket next to his mother, who was taking care of his face. He is still very pale. He doesn't have much vitality. He feels better. He has not led you to visit him, Tan? Chen Xiao gently asked. Mr. Cheng Jiahu hurriedly handed the nutritious gift box to his uncle and brought some nutritious gifts to him. Help me recover my health. Remember to eat. Father Qin is not very friendly with Cheng family. Only coldly replied, oh Mother Qin. It is good to still keep a smile and take the box of fruits and then bring the fruit. How to disturb the process of smiling family friends. It's not much. It's just a little bit of sincerity after talking for a while. Qin Baoqin's father left short-sightedly. He took a drink, sip hot tea and say that this disease of mine has recurred for a long time. My body is getting weaker and weaker. I only have one daughter. His sharp gaze stopped on Cheng Jiawei. I heard that the two of you were about to get engaged. I didn't object, but I have a request for. Cheng Jiawei nodded to my uncle and kept saying that Qin's father. The brand with Qin's mother's eyes immediately handed Cheng Jiahu a contract. When he saw the content of Cheng Jia's face, immediately became unsightly. To notarize the property before marriage. Qin's father nodded solemnly. I plan to entrust all my assets to the trust fund so that each thang can receive money from such a fund. She will not spend this large amount of property at the same time. Ask the two of you to notarize the property before marriage. I will also be more reassured than you have heard from abroad about some bad news about the Cheng family. That who has told you? But she's just a blind person in love who doesn't believe at all if that's the case. He has only one way to intervene. Financial cards can also hinder the submission of the family in this way. The submission of the family is like sitting on a fire. He married to Qin Chen Thien because of her family's property. If he notarized the property, he would not be able to get it. How much money now looks at the serious expressions of Qin's parents if he doesn't sign this notarization. They will never marry his daughter to him if there is no problem. Sign it here. Qin's father urged Cheng Jiao to suddenly stand up and get up. The chair, he said to Qin's father worriedly. I'm sorry. I need to go to the toilet in a while. We'll come back. This is just a time-buying tactic, hoping to be able to think of a way to deal with the Qin family's public affairs. The premarital property is something he absolutely cannot sign, not to mention the transfer of Qin Xiaoxiao's assets to the trust fund, which will make him. It was even more difficult to get money while Cheng Jiahu was worriedly walking back and forth outside the door trying to find a way. Suddenly heard. Seeing Qin Chen Chen's questioning voice. How did he see Qin Chen Xiao bringing things to Zheng Jia? Who seemed to see the ray of hope. He immediately grabbed her shoulder and immediately showed her great acting ability. I meditated and meditated. You came at the right time. I don't know what to do anymore. Hu lowered his head and pretended to be sad. We probably shouldn't marry his eyes. I've been sobbing, and my voice is also full of bitterness and pain. Why is Qin Xiaoxiao worried? I don't want to marry you. I love you, but lovers are always hard to be together. He shook his head and sighed. My parents thought I wasn't worthy. With me, plus the fact that Lu Zhou intervened. I don't know what he said to them. They kept criticizing me for saying all kinds of things. His bitter words were very tired. And Hu gritted his teeth and continued to speak. Also have self-esteem. My parents want me to notarize the property before marriage. They think I came to me for the money of Qin Star. Xiao Xiao was surprised. There was also such a thing. Why did they insult me? But why did they torture me like that? They still plan to transferring my assets to a trust fund in the future. I can only receive a fixed monthly salary that cannot be spent comfortably. It is too much to bear. Listening to Cheng Jiawei, Qin Chen Xiao bit his red lips. My parents are so excessive. How can you just get it for the sake of money? Not that kind of person. That's right. I'm also a descendant of a rich family. My family also has money. I love you just because of my affection. But seeing the tactic of backing down so that his voice is effective. Trin Rahu is secretly happy if his parents still keep their attitude. Hey, maybe we should break up immediately. Qin Xiaoxiao clenched Cheng Jiao's hand and resolutely said no. Didn't want to break up with him. So now there was no way to stop them from listening to it. Qin Xiaoshen pondered for a while. Nian thought of something. She looked at Cheng Shuihu with his eyes full of determination and said that there was a way that Cheng Jiahu was excited. 10 minutes later, a lawyer sat in the living room. And he handed Cheng Jiahu a copy of the contract. He presented it here. Is the contract I have prepared at the request of Ms. Qin. If you have no comments, you can sign it here and submit it to the legal family. View the text. Contract. His face instantly darkened. Chen Xiao, what do you mean? Chen Xiao smiled softly. I have opening a joint fund account for our husband and wife. I will notify the bank to transfer 80% of my income to. This account can be used for our future activities. You can also use it normally. I won't interfere. This is just a protection measure. Our marriage is over. My parents are sensitive and lack trust. If they see that you have signed this contract, they will definitely change the way you look at me and won't mention the notarization of assets anymore in response to you can't let me suffer. I will transfer some of the companies in my name. Which are the companies listed in this contract? To your name. He will be the legal representative and have full executive authority initially when he hears that money must be transferred to the submitted account. Hu was not satisfied at all. But after listening to Qin Chen Xiao's explanation, he understood that the money in the account. Hey, you can transfer it at will. It still counts as your personal property. In addition, Qin Shenxian also donated 5 companies too. He is no different from giving especially a high-end women's fashion company that is very popular and is a fashion brand. Is in vogue. Qin Chen Xiao was so generous that before marriage, let alone after marriage, he will still receive many more benefits. Hu, immersed in joy, immediately signed the contract. Immediately after signing, Qin Chen Thien was surprised and asked, I didn't read it all before signing. Cheng Jiahu smiled. I trust you. No matter what you do. I trust you. I have read through the contract once and have not seen any problem in the contract that there is a clause stipulating if you adjust the love and betray Ms. Chin, he will leave empty-handed. All the property will belong to Ms. Chin if he submitted that there is no suitable opinion. The copper will take effect immediately, the lawyer said with a cold expression. Wait, what is it? Cheng Jiahu was shocked and hurriedly held it. Took the contract and noticed that there was indeed that clause between the words chi and deed, but it was written very vaguely and cleverly. Is hidden by other attractive benefits and terms that do not read carefully will not be able to recognize. Rest assured to go to your family. Definitely won't have an affair. But this clause is just a formality. Chen Xiao grabbed Cheng Jiao's hand. Sweet smile. Cheng Jiao's eyes swung back and forth. Obviously he felt a little uneasy. But he was great. I can't admit that I had an affair in front of Chen, otherwise she will kill me. Yes. I will love you. Life has always been kind to me. Cheng Yu sincerely confessed. Chen smiled, blushed and nodded. I believe you. Seeing that she had no doubt, Cheng Jiahu breathed a sigh of relief when the contract was put up in front of Chen's parents. They also showed surprised. Chen stubbornly sat down on the sofa in frustration and said that Hu's parents had already expressed this. I don't even believe that he is honest with me. No matter how much my parents object, I will definitely marry him. Cheng Jia. You also pretended to beg Chen's parents, my uncle, my aunt and sister, to be sincere with Zhen. Please give me a chance. Looking at Chen's stubborn appearance, Chen's parents felt extremely depressed. Their daughter was really a blind person. In love, it was obvious that Cheng Jiahu was not a good person, and yet she kept asking to marry him. They didn't worry about their daughter. Miserable but only afraid that her body would soon be found in the refrigerator or under the sewer. But now she saw Chin Xiao was so resolute. They didn't object. They chose to take a step back, pretending to agree. The eldest daughter. I can't hold it anymore. My parents will indulge my son's wishes. Chin's father waved his hand and showed helplessness, pointing. Need to meditate and meditate. Thich is that we as parents do not have the right to interfere too much. Mother Tan also agrees to follow. Chin's parents' attitude changed. Cheng Jiahu was extremely happy to be approved by them, and soon he would climb to the position. Power. As long as she can marry Chin Xiao, appropriating her entire family property will be as easy as turning the first hand. When he left, Cheng Jiahu was called back by Chin's mother. Waited for a while. He wanted to talk privately with his grandson. Chin's mother looked at Cheng Jiahu's with. His eyes were full of hidden yi. Cheng Yu nodded in a daze. Followed Chin's mother to a quiet place to talk in detail when he heard what Chin's mother continued to speak. The eyes of the family friend opened all the way wide because of the surprise of the hotel. The star floor brushed the red carpet. The lantern illuminates the hall like day. The party is presented with luxurious tableware and a beautiful decorative setting that exudes luxury. Of the coin, this is Chin Xiao's birthday party. The atmosphere here is extremely lively. The people who attended are Chin Xiao's friends and relatives, all of whom are dressed in gorgeous costumes, of course. The most prominent person in the party was none other than Chin Chen. After all, she was the main character of the party. Chin Xiao wore a blue fishtail dress. The light on the skirt changed with each curve of the body, blended perfectly between light and shadow. Her long curly hair is tied up with a pearl clip, and Kim Tuyen creates a hot style, enhancing her increasingly attractive beauty. On her head she also wears a sparkling PHLA crown. The bright light looked extremely noble and elegant, standing out from the crowd with many compliments around him. So beautiful. It's a pity that Xiao didn't go to the Miss contest. It's a pity. His beauty is also highly educated, and he has a beautiful figure looking at him. We are like ugly ducklings. You were born to be jealous of your parents. Chin Xiao is surrounded by everyone, listening to the compliments. She raised her head proudly. Her sense of superiority was now satisfied. Where is Lu Chao completely? A curious person asked him before. He always brought trong tho noodles to him, which I remember him cooking. The best boiling cabbage noodles. This question made the smile on Chin Xiao's face suddenly retract. The girlfriend mentioned her name. Lu Zhou came from far away to attend her birthday party, so she didn't know anything about the fact that Chin Xiao and Lu Zhou had divorced. And someone immediately pulled her friend and glared at him, touching the right place of pain. Qin Xiaoxiao lowered his eyes and tried to put on a wry smile. It's okay. Where she scanned her eyes around and didn't see his figure. It didn't make her heart extremely heavy for the past 5 years. Every birthday has you by my side. I always cook. Gave her a large bowl of trong tho noodles kneaded and spun by his own hands because he said that homemade noodles would taste better than she felt. The bridge of her nose was spicy and suddenly felt as if something was missing. She really wanted to eat a bowl of noodles again today. When there was a hint of melancholy in Qin Zhen's eyes, the spotlight suddenly went out immediately. A remote light shines straight at her. A remote-controlled model helicopter below is tied to a. The small ring box made of Wei Bing wire flew straight towards Qin Zhen, and the murmurs of astonishment began echoing around Qin Xiao. He could feel that everyone began to make a noise about Cheng Hu wearing a white suit. In the background of melodious music, national neon, so it is the song "Its is always be the song." At the end of the cartoon Spirited Away, Qin's heart is tightened. This is the cartoon that Lu Zhou favorite and also his favorite song, of course. It is also her favorite song that she and Lu Chao have. Let's watch Spirited Away no less than 5 times. You'll never meet anyone like me again. Whether it's friendship or love. Don't turn your head on the road ahead. You have to walk on your own. I can only see you off here. I don't know where I was going, but I was on my way. Those lines kept echoing in her head. Other memories pierced deeply. Hit the softest and most sensitive place in her heart. Cheng Jiahu walked in front of her and knelt down on one leg to take it. The ring box from the model helicopter opened. Inside was a diamond ring. He looked at Qin Xiaoxiao with a gentle and short-sighted look at him. This marriage proposal was suggested by Qin's mother because she knew that her daughter had the soul of a little girl desperately needs romance and a sense of appreciation. She doesn't want her daughter to suffer the disadvantage she wants to have. A beautiful memory, and also publicized the engagement so that everything came to an end. Jiahu of course did not dare to disagree. Qin's mother therefore arranged this surprise proposal. He wanted to establish his fiancé status. And at the same time make the short-sighted person focuses all his attention on himself. Not being distracted by external factors. The most important thing is that he has underground arranged for reporters to record the entire process, which can then be leveraged to create a frenzy online. Increased the intensity of popularity. But just as Cheng Jiahu was smiling and proposing, a loud noise suddenly sounded from the. What was going on in the crowd when Cheng Jiahu didn't even understand the situation he had seen? On the back screen, there is a VCL paragraph. The problem is that the main character is not the short-sighted Mr. Call. Gently made Qin Xiaoxiao's heart beat hard. A beat. Her gaze immediately locked on that VCR. Is Lu Chao's birthday greetings from last year. On the screen is a delicate man in a white shirt. His appearance was as gentle as a pearl. His eyes were as clear as the surface of a lake. And the smile on his lips was like the sun. Brilliant, simple, delicate and charming. Qin Xiao's eyes shone a little damp. It's been a long time since she heard such a gentle voice from him. Our little girl has grown up by a year, and congratulations on taking another step into the world of adults. I live a peaceful life that is not disturbed by time. Every year the scene is the same. Every year I am always by my side. Celebrating her birthday. Tan Thien An is like a brilliant summer flower that does not fade, does not wither, always makes her heart beat quickly. Cheng Jiawei was completely dumbfounded. Lu Zhou didn't break up with Qin Shenxian. Why was he still filming VCR? Happy birthday. She quickly turned off and went to show who shouted and scolded. The staff of the romantic proposal section was ruined by an unrelated VCR. Lu Zhou is really his star. Always came to break the crowd from afar. Qin Xian's mother smiled and witnessed this drama, looking at the emotional expression of. When her daughter stared at the screen, she knew that her plan was half successful. Clearly in her daughter's heart, there is still the silhouette of Lu Zhou. Just her reason, which has been covered by Cheng Jiao. It is not in vain she arranged everything for Hu Fat, presented the songs that Lu Chao liked to listen to, and then showed this VC passage to evoke Qin's memories of meditation and meditation. Need to use Lu Zhou to distract her daughter. She will definitely remember the good things about him when the two of them, if they can get back together. She won't have to witness Cheng Hu deceiving her daughter's feelings anymore. But Lu Chao. It is still possible to be her son-in-law. It is indeed beneficial for both parties to meditate on where you are going while Qing Jiahu is still shouting. When he took off the staff, he saw her beautiful figure rushing out. And when he chased after her, Qin Shenqian was already disappeared. The annoying family friend stroked his hair. It's really troublesome to propose romantically. You can go to HOTS to do media. Now it's all broken. Qin Chen ran away because of Lu Zhou's VCR. He really became a laughingstock for everyone. He seemed to become yang with a vast prairie on the head of the night as dark as ink as the moonlight. Silver Villa stands firm in the middle of the darkness, quiet and warm. However, this peaceful atmosphere was overshadowed by a guest. Without breaking Lu Zhou, who was sitting on the sofa playing games, suddenly a noise echoed from outside. Sorry. Auntie can't go inside. The stern butler's voice sounded, immediately followed by a frantic scream. Why not? I want to meet the continent of England to come out here to give me this familiar call. Making Lu Zhou's eyebrows twitch. The noise outside was getting louder and louder. And before he had time to react, he saw a strong figure rushed straight at her and drank until X shook her beautiful smooth white skin that was now flushed red. She looked staggered and couldn't stand up. And the wine was strong. And she didn't know how much she had drunk. It was Qin Xiao. Xiao is drinking, but it must be said that she is not drunk. She just pretended to be drunk to get the courage to face her feelings. She just wanted to see if Lu Zhou would still have mercy on her. The butler who had originally prevented Qin Xian from letting her in. But this girl made a fuss like a market woman who blatantly rushed into the housekeeper. Very awkwardly turned to talk to Lu. I'm sorry, young Master Lu. I'll take her to the butler right away. Grabbed Qin Chen's arm and gently advised. Miss Qin, you grind it. Let me take you to the opposite room. Don't drag me so much. It hurts so much. Qin Chen shouted, pulled his arm hard from the butler, and then raised his red wrist deliberately, pointing it out in front of him. Lu Zhou, I'm injured. Lu Zhouying, look at it. Hoo. It's very painful. Qin Chen. Xiao staggered and walked towards Lu Zhou. Her eyes sparkled, her innocence looked, and her voice was also full of self-pity. Lu Zhou could see that her wrist was red, but he didn't show any weakness. If it hurts, go to the hospital. I'm not a doctor who can't solve your problem. Lu Zhou's cold voice is torn. Broken heart. Qin Zhen. Lu Zhouying, did you know that today was your birthday? She hugged her chest and shouted. I was leaving his friends to come here to find you. And yet you treat me like that. Qin Xiao's smile was full of compassion. Love, but arrogant, so beautiful that it makes people suffocate. I came to find you today. The whole world will laugh at you. I will. Became a joke, but I couldn't help it. Even if there were 100 million people congratulating me on my birthday, I want you to be the one to congratulate me. Speaking of this, her tears began to fall down her thick eyelashes, slightly vibrating. Her red lips were almost bitten to the point of bleeding. I was very afraid of being lonely, so I needed someone to be on the other side of the road. I don't want to go alone. I want you to be by my side forever. I want you to help me up when it rains. I'll cover your umbrella when you're happy. I'll share when you cry. I'll wipe your tears like a faceless character who only gives gold to hero. I just want you to give me your goodness. The habit is really a scary thing you didn't realize before. How important Lu Zhou was to her. But when he left, she felt that she couldn't get used to Qin Xiao. Crying and talking a lot. Lu Chao thought that he would be heartbroken. But no, he was still very calm because more than anyone else, knowing that his feelings for Qin Chen Xiao had ended ironically right before Qin Chen Xiao was cold too. You can't reach brother Qin Chen Xiao. I have never forced you to leave anyone to come to me. That's what you do. I wish you had ever asked me if I wanted you. Only touched yourself but had never thought about the feeling of. I haven't. You've pushed me into the tongue of the world just to satisfy your selfishness. This isn't love. This is coercive morality. Our contracts have ended. We have also divorced them. I've never loved each other. Never been a couple. We're two people from two different worlds. We shouldn't affect each other's lives anymore. I don't love you. I'm not afraid that you hate me. I hope you don't appear anymore. Don't defame my life. Thank you, Lu Chao. I didn't expect that Qin Xiao would still burst into his life trying to maintain the broken relationship, but he didn't like this kind of coconut string affection. He also didn't want to continue to be wrapped up by Qin Xiao. He had his own life. He didn't want to be trapped in The memories of the past that could not escape hearing the blunt words of Lu Zhou at the beginning of Tan Zhen. As if exploding, she felt dizzy. The whole world seemed to be spinning. Her breathing became urgent. In this heart she was alive. The pain was so painful that she wanted to faint at this time. Her eyes were locked on the tea can on the table. She didn't hesitate to open the lid. Can. Under Lu Zhou's astonished gaze, she handed the lid of the can to Mr. Lu Zhou. Just need him. Propose I'll marry you because you can face the whole world I can't. Marrying Cheng Jiawei, I can be considered as what you said has never happened before. I will no longer be as stubborn as. In the future, I will also make you happy. Before we were happy, we will definitely be happy in the future. Tears. In her eyes, the affection was as deep as the immeasurable deep blue ocean. Qin Xiaoxiao had a belief. Intensely, she didn't believe that love could disappear so quickly in such a short period of time. How could he say love? I can't love, but I'm just angry that she transferred her feelings to someone else because she left me to see my actions. Qin Xiao Luzhou felt extremely tired and depressed. Qin Xiao is too stubborn now. Ping M. Care, I just want to go back to the way I used to. We can't be as happy as before. Qin Xiao shed tears. Her heart seemed to be torn apart the more she saw Lu Zhou's coldness. The more pain she felt he and Shen Lei Mengyu. It's just a contractual relationship. Why can't you sign a contract with me? Any of your conditions can be. Meet you leave her without a fine contract. I will pay for you eyes. Her full of water stared at Lu Zhou. Qin meditating on him because of the contract without leaving Shen Lemeng, and he also will not be close to you again because of the contract. Lu Zhou smiled coldly. His finger pointed to the door to invite you out. The unreceived can lid seemed to have frozen in her hand. Otherwise why did she feel the body?